I will.
And then I'm going to share my screen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do first.
Is it the truth?
The truth.
Second.
Is it fair to all
All
concerned?
concerned.
Third.
Will
Will it build goodwill
goodwill
and
and
friendships?
friendships.
Fourth.
Is it beneficial
Beneficial
to
to
all
All
concerned?
concerned.
Fifth.
Fun.
Fun.
Bacon.
Aloha.
Seventh. Fill in the blank.
Bacon.
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 Money. Arg. That was pretty impressive. You didn't even have to tell everybody to mute during the pledge of the flag or unmute for the four-way test. We just did it like we were a well-oiled machine. Nice job.
Angie.
Now, the well-oiled machine part on the recitation of the four-way test, that does not apply, but that's okay. We're perfect in our imperfection, and I like that.
Going right across.
It's progress over perfection, and we're making progress. All right. Eileen, could you, do we have another Brene Brown quote today?
No, today's quote comes from Theodore Roosevelt. I have to keep you all on your toes. And the quote today is, complaining about a problem without proposing a solution is called whining. So,
You know, there's a lot of great, you could spend like 3 years on Teddy Roosevelt. He's got a lot of great quotes. Some of them you can actually say in public. So anyway, that's a good thing. Well, I just want to remind everybody that I am recording the meeting today. So if you plan on picking your nose or doing anything like that, just make sure you turn your camera off. Not that anybody does anything like that, but I just wanted to remind you that I am recording today's meeting, and I want to thank you, Gary, and I just picked my nose. I want to thank Gary and Angie for helping me load those so that people can see those through YouTube, and they're accessible for anyone who wants to make up a meeting. So that's been fantastic. We have a guest today, reoccurring guest, Brian Ruiz is with us today. Thank you for coming again, Brian. Good to see you. Birthdays. All right, everybody get the spanking machine out. All right, because we've got some March birthdays coming up. No remaining birthdays in February in this last meeting of the month, but Monday starts a new month. We actually start working our way towards spring, which is unbelievable. Of course, it'll still be, high 40s and rainy during the whole month of March, but that's okay. Birthday, March 1st, which is Monday, Chris Vallow. Happy birthday to Chris. Chris,
Yeah.
you want a virtual spanking?
Well, how does that work?
Well, very well, hopefully.
Well, I guess so.
I'll give you three choices.
Okay.
Three choices. You can get a spanking, or you could have the whole club sing happy birthday. Or Sam, would you be willing to sing happy birthday to Chris? And then Chris, you could pay to not have us sing and have Sam sing, and you could even decide the amount.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. I'll pay $10 to hear Sam sing.
Oh,
She got such
okay.
a voice.
$10 going once, twice.
Sold.
Oh,
All right. So you ready?
yes, I am.
I should always warm up in the morning because I never know the birthdays. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you.
Awesome. That was beautiful.
And
Thank you.
many
Quit drooling,
more.
Chris.
Awesome.
Hey, Ken,
Yes, sir.
Ken, that was like 3 or 4 references to spanking. So my makes me wonder, my question for you is your first act in July as superintendent going to be to reintroduce spanking in the Lake
Corporal-
Stevens School District?
Corporal punishment, David. That's what we call it. Yes, absolutely. Spare
Absolutely.
the rod and spoil the child, my friend. Idle hands are the devil's tools. We're going back to the 1600s, baby.
Hey, Ken,
Spoken like a
Ken.
teacher.
Ken, don't forget this is being recorded.
Oh, that's right.
And what
Part of a
about
permanent record.
what about the students? Are you going to spank the students too?
Yes, no, I am not going to spank the students.
Just the staff.
Yeah, just the staff. We also have some more birthdays in March, and we'll attend to those next week. But a preview: Tracy DeLorme has her birthday on March 8th. 26 again, Tracy. Nice job. Chris Jacobson has his birthday on March 22nd. Larry Saint has his birthday on March 25th. And his twin brother, John Spencer, has his birthday on March 25th. I didn't know Larry and John were twins, but apparently they are.
There are a lot of people born on March 25th. Don't know why.
You begin with the end in mind, count backwards 9 months, and you can figure it out, I suppose.
Yeah.
Some twins weren't born on the same day.
That's true.
Sometimes
Some people
different
weren't
years.
born on the same day. I was born in 2 days. I mean, look at me.
You're too dare.
Yeah. There's no spouse birthdays in March. Marriage anniversaries. Dawn Iverson and Eve Stern have an anniversary coming up a week from Monday on March 8th, the same day that Tracy's birthday. Congratulations, Dawn and Eve.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Rotary anniversaries this month on March 1st, Gary O'Reilly has his 27th anniversary with Rotary. Dave LeDuc, March 12th, 1-year anniversary with Rotary. Sam Lowe on March 13th, his 8-year anniversary with Rotary. And Lauren Hole on the 15th. How many years do you guys think Lauren's been in Rotary?
56.
52.
53.
You guys are
93.
all around it. It's 54 years.
Wow.
54 years. He's probably not missed a day in 54 years. Is he here today, though? I haven't.
Yes, he's here.
Yes,
Yep.
he is. All
He's
right,
got
Lauren.
Paul Harris too. So
He's got perfect attendance, 54 years. He's got to get a life.
I would say he's got one, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to reports. Gary, Secretary's report.
All right. Typical board meeting on Thursday, March 11th. On Wednesday, the District 50/50 membership chair, Dennis Boyd, hosted a best membership meeting on Zoom. There were probably about 20, 25 clubs that were present, and but they focused mainly on the Zoom meetings rather than on membership recruitment, although that ended up being the last part of the hour meeting, and they called on me to give an update on what was going on with our club. The Zoom meetings, they went through a number of things on the type of meetings. Are you doing the typical meeting that you would do if you were in person? Some were not. One club, and I don't remember exactly what club it was, has 60 members. Only 10 have been attending their Zoom meetings, and they were trying to figure out exactly what was going on to try and help that out. One of the discussions that they we're considering at the end is maybe taking a look at similar type clubs, Canadian and US, and pairing them up if you're at the same time of the morning as a means of trying to get some interest going. It was an interesting meeting, but I was hoping that they'd spend more time on membership. I think that's going to come later on. They did tape it, so it's going to be posted on the website on District 5050 if anybody wants to go take a look at it. That's it.
Thanks, Gary. Treasurer's report, Chris.
So we're looking pretty good there. Dues are keep coming in, so we're starting to button that up. And I did, we donated $500 to sponsor Sherwood in their virtual wine and dine event. So they sent a letter here, and I'll read it to you. On behalf of Sherwood and individuals we serve, I want to extend my deepest gratitude for our sponsorship of our virtual wine and dine event in March. The Rotary Club of Lake Stevens investment will enable the event's success as a Chardonnay sponsor. Ultimately, your support will bring independence and inclusion to children and adults with disabilities throughout our community. Services give children a better chance in school and adults the opportunity to contribute to our community and be more independent. Thank you for your commitment to the Sherwood and help in moving our mission forward. Please know our gratitude. I am for this partnership and allowing us to continue to provide life-changing services to some of the most vulnerable in our community, and at the time that it is so needed. We could not do it without the Lake Stevens Rotary Club. Thank you. Warmest thanks, Lance Morehouse, Chief Executive Officer. So that was awesome.
I know him.
I know him.
I've seen him around, but I'm not sure.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Lance, for all you do. It's amazing. That's my report.
Thanks, Chris. My report, nothing much except that I put in the chat just a reminder that the Arlington Rotary Club has a blood drive on March 8th, so a week from Monday. It's going to be held at the Stillaguamish Conference Room at Haller Park. I've made this announcement before. If you're interested, sign up. There's a website on there. You just go to the Red Cross website and sign up. And there's some interesting stuff on there. All donated blood is tested for COVID-19 antibodies by the Red Cross, and donors can find out the results online if they wish through, I'm sure, a secure site. But the website is on there. It's in the address for it is in the chat. So if you want to do that, go and contribute. Other than that, I don't have much other than it's just great to see everybody. And we've made it through the month of February, which is awesome. Past President's Report, is Lori on?
No, I don't think so.
I don't see her. Okay, and President-elect report, Rochelle, do I see her? Okay, committee reports, club services, Keith, what'd you have for breakfast?
Bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich.
Ooh.
It was delish. Elisa had to go into the county today, so the dog and I were on our own, so we could do whatever we wanted.
That's still pretty good. How many people could beat that? I mean, I'm glad we picked Keith for this because he has way better breakfast than I ever do.
I wonder if we ought to start showing up at his place.
I'm guessing.
You can. Elisa still buys enough food for the 3 kids, so Lord knows we have enough for everybody.
Yeah.
What time do we need to show up, Freddie?
6:30.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Community service, Eileen.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a road cleanup coming up on March 20th. It'll be from the high school to Highway 92 and some of the side streets. I apologize, I have not sent out the reminder to Club Runner, but I will do it today. I think Kristen wants everybody there at 8 o'clock. I know you're here, Krista. There you are. 8 o'clock at the high school. No, I can't see. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Yeah, because we're working with teenagers.
Oh, yeah. Good story.
So if you want to come.
Awesome. Thank you. And then if anybody knows within the community, if they need, if an entity, food bank, whatever needs help, please let me know so we can pitch in and organize some sort of community event. And that is what I have today. Thank you.
Kristen, where is everybody meeting to start that event? I just put it in the chat, 9 o'clock, March 20th. And where do you meet at the high school parking lot?
In the high school parking lot.
Okay.
Was that
in front of the new gym?
Yes.
Was that 9 a.m. or 8 a.m.?
9.
Okay.
9 a.m.
9 bells. Yeah, here's one of the things about education during COVID times. We've started our we start school for secondary students at 9:40 now. So it's gonna, if we ever have to go back to 7:35, which I'm hoping we don't ever have to, it's going to be a rude awakening. We're going to have to figure that one out too.
I think, isn't there studies out there that says students do better if they sleep in?
Only about 1,000 of them. All right. Where are we? Membership. Ron, is Ron on?
Ron's here.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, real short, thanks to Gary. I got stuck at work on Wednesday, so I was registered, but I couldn't make that meeting, so he graciously filled in and took, I'm sure, ample notes. So, and then welcome to Brian for his, he was smart enough to come back for a second time, so hopefully that'll continue. And that's it.
Thanks, Ron. International Services, Tracy.
Yes, I have to say thank you again to Kristen. I was not able to make the IPA board meeting last night, so she attended in my place. I think I missed another meeting. Sorry, Lance. And I was in yet another one, so kind of busy. So Kristen, is there any update that you could give for IPA?
Yep, so Peter and Marty just got back from Honduras and they had a fabulous trip. They are thinking about buying computers, so that might be the next thing that they are asking money for. Somebody is going to go back in probably May, somebody from the club. Oh, and then if we need a speaker for a meeting, Marty will talk about the trip. Dawn, right. So if you want to connect with her. And then Tracy, they would like the email addresses to everybody who's in our international committee for Lake Stevens.
Okay, I'll get that sent out to them. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate you attending in my absence. Oh dear, it was Friday, Lake Stevens Rotary Club, changing subjects here. We sent dinner to the Cocoon House in Monroe. Monroe Spirits, Pizza and Spirits, I think it is. They're awesome. The gal who answered the phone just helped me out. I'm an old person that I don't know how to do, you know, the Grubhub or whatever it's called, but they delivered it and she helped me and it was perfect. So Chris, I'll get that receipt to you soon. That's it, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tracy. In or out, Kristen.
So we had a meeting on Wednesday that my daughter had to start off because I was in another meeting at the time. But we have 3 kids that are signed up to go to Yale virtually so far. We're hoping to have a couple more sign up as well. We are planning a game day with Ashley Point, a virtual game day. So hopefully we will be doing that on the 19th of March, but we're still waiting for particulars. And then I delivered paint to our members so we could paint rocks to leave rocks around Lake Stevens to brighten up the place. So it's continuing to go, and I enjoy working with these kiddos.
Sorry. Thanks, Kristen. Lance, vocational.
Sure. First of all, Kristen, remember last year when we had the students submit just a brief bio about themselves? Is that something that we could do again this year? And I'd be happy to contact them if I had their contact info.
Do you want like the members, or do you want just the officers?
The students that are going to go to Yale, sorry if I didn't say that. I think just a paragraph or two bio, because then we as the club will know the students that are going. And let me know if you want me to reach out to them and ask for that.
I can put it in our Google Classroom. That is not a problem.
Awesome. Well, great job on 3 people so far. That's cool. On vocational, Mr. President, if you can give me a chance to share the screen just really quick. While he's doing that, I'll tell you that the scholarship apps are on the website. Thanks, Angie and James, for making that happen. And I've sent them to Kim LaFortune and Kristen at the high school. So they've got them in hand. Kim's going to promote it heavily to students, she said. And then Kim introduced me to Teresa Hossman, I believe, at Snow Isle virtually. So we'll get the vocational apps out there. I guess students are attending Snow Isle. Is that true, Ken?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so the students are there. So we'll figure out if there's any more that we can do as far as outreach. And one of the things that I thought of is I could send the applications out to the Rotary Club if you would like, in case any of you have people that you would like to share it with. But what I brought up here on the screen is the Rotary website, so I can show you where they're at. It's quite a ways down on the website. If you know, this is the top. So if you scroll down on the left-hand side here under download files, you will see the vocational scholarship application and the college scholarship application. So can you guys access it there or direct people there, or would you like me to send an email with the actual applications out to the club?
That's fine.
Yeah, I think we can access it there.
I'll send it out. If you don't have anybody to share it with, just it can go in your deleted items folder. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Appreciate that.
You know, Lance, I think that Kim that you talked about over at Snow Isle,
Not Kim.
that may be the person that Angie and I were greeted by when we met there. It seems to me she was similar.
Isn't it Teresa?
Yeah, it's Teresa. It's Teresa at Snow Isle. Kim's at the high school.
That name sounds familiar.
Okay.
And I think her husband is a member of the Mukilteo Club or one of them. I forget.
All right.
I don't see Rochelle on for public relations. Is Jim on for foundation?
No.
Wow. Sleeping in today. Good for him. Okay, any other announcements for the good of the order? If not, I'm going to turn this over to our Sergeant at Arms, Mr. David Johnson.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Arms.
Now let's try that one more time. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, David.
All right, there we go. Happy Friday to everyone.
Woohoo!
You guys want to do some fines?
Sure.
All right. Well, Ken, I'm gonna have to fine you $36.
Ooh, that's hefty. Go ahead,
I
tell
know.
me why.
Well, I believe that that's how old you claim to be earlier in this meeting.
Yes, that is. You could count the rings on my tree. It's 36.
Yeah. So I'm giving you the opportunity to take ownership of that number.
Well, I guess it's better than my actual age, so yes, I'll pay that.
Well, or you could pay $3.60.
Okay, I'll do that.
That would be acceptable. And then I think Larry was making some kind of claims too about being 4 years older than somebody else. Larry?
Oh, Steve Prefontaine. Yeah, he was
Well,
just a little kid in the neighborhood.
that'll cost you $4.
For telling the truth. Okay.
No, it's because Prefontaine broke the 4-minute mile. So it's $1 for every mile.
And because he's a
lap
duck.
that he ran.
And don't forget he's a duck.
Well, he wasn't the first to break it, wasn't it? Was it Jim Ryan was the first? Who was the
Roger Bannister was the first to break the 4-minute mile.
That's right.
Wow.
From
I'm
England.
impressed, you guys.
You were just a puppy when that happened, Lance.
All right. And Lance, that'll be $5 for you.
For speaking out of turn.
No, because your laugh had 5 chuckles in it.
Careful, guys.
Aren't you guys glad I'm here today? With all this completely nonsensical stuff.
I'm going on mute.
And that's different from any other day. How?
That's Nick. I found. Yeah, you can take this. Sorry for that brief interruption. I'll have to find myself $5 for announcing the fact that I've already fed the dogs in an effort to keep them quiet, and clearly it's only partly successful. So, raise your virtual hand if you own a dog. Well, okay, I guess I can't see unless you say something. So raise your virtual hand and say me if you own a dog.
Me.
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 So that's only 4 dog owners online. Well, if you don't own a dog, I highly recommend it. And if you don't own a dog, it'll cost you $1. Let that be a lesson to you.
I think that's discrimination against cats, but that's me.
Oh, we can go to the cat down cat lane too. You stole my thunder. I hadn't gotten to the cat part yet. So, well, no, we'll save cats for another day, I suppose. So, that's kind of all the silly little finds that I have. So, do we have a speaker today?
We do not. We have a video today.
Okay. And how long does this video last?
It's about 17 minutes tops, so you got time. You can keep ringing us.
Oh, thanks,
Don.
Don.
I may have time, but I don't have any substance.
Okay, well, you don't have to.
Well, let's do Happy Bucks.
I'd like to start, if I may. I'd like to do $10 in Happy Bucks to thank everybody who came out to Sherwood's fundraiser on Wednesday for Sip and Ship. It was super successful, and thank you all for your support. We really, truly appreciate it. You guys are rock stars.
You're here.
And the second thing is my husband has 2 weeks left, and he will be done with school, and this has been a 12-year journey, so I'm super excited. And he'll be able to go back on second shift instead of graveyard, which brings me great joy.
Lauren has a happy 5. Dory says that I should get a life. Oh, Dory, I made an investment in that this last week because I got the second shot of the vaccine. And it went very smoothly. I had no reaction. So there's my investment in my future life. I hope that I can make it to 55 years in Rotary.
I don't know, Lauren, your
Yeah.
hair is glowing on the screen.
I've got 10 happy bucks. I've got my youngest has found gainful employment before graduating from the little Harvard of the West. So now they're all out and graduated, and I'm done, and I'm pretty sure they're going to support me forever.
That's what happens when you go to WSU, Keith. It's almost guaranteed employment.
Yeah. Yeah, he had no trouble at all. First interview, out the gate, done. Working for Blattner Energy.
Go Cougs.
Yeah.
I got my feet up off the floor.
Yeah, me too.
I told him the only two schools he could not go to were Duke and Wazoo. Kid went to Wazoo.
I get $5 for that.
Well, I understand Duke because of the hefty payment it would have caused the Partington family, but Wazoo, everybody wants to go to Wazoo. Come on.
In your nightmare dreams.
Worked out well for him.
Yep.
Woof, woof.
I've got 10 happy bucks, even more than that maybe. But since you said woof woof, my wife Eve was a nurse for a few years. She graduated from Columbia back in New York and worked as a airlift emergency nurse in Harlem, and she worked in a few other quick assignments, if you will. And then she moved into the administration side, which brought her to Seattle, and she was in administration at Virginia Mason and went on to more corporate life. And after probably maintaining her nursing license for about 10 years and not needing it, she let it lapse. Well, she's retired from corporate life and decided to go back to nursing. And the only way she could do that is to literally go back to school, which became very easy with COVID. The state of Washington kind of loosened things up a little bit, and basically she enrolled at WSU and was able to do her studying virtually. And she started last spring, and she actually got through the whole refresher program by the end of the year.
Wow.
Which, so she's probably technically an RN again, but she's got one more part of her education that I think is really cool. And she has to donate 160 hours for on-the-job training with any organization that's willing to participate with WSU in this program. And she found a surgery center in Bellevue that was willing to, with a physician that was willing to take her under his arm and their nursing staff. So she's working basically 5 days a week now, 2 days on a regular gig and 3 days at this surgery center. And literally from day one, she was in the operating room. And by day 2 or day 3, he had her as the assisting nurse in the surgery. And they do mostly plastic surgery. So she's learning about what's inside, you know, for her current business, which is, many of you saw her presentation, involves what's outside your skin, basically. So she has just been loving this. And even though it's strictly volunteer time, the education's been pretty incredible for her. So definitely worth some happy bucks. She's almost there.
I have, congratulations, Don. Tell Eve we all thinking of her for what she's doing. I have 5 happy dollars. One, as a board member of Sherwood, just want to thank everybody, like Eileen said, that showed up for Rustic Corks. It was a great fundraiser. I stayed until I had to go for the membership meeting. And then number 2 is It was a week late, but our family had our Mardi Gras celebration this past Saturday night. My friend and kind of a brother type in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, sent us another king cake. My sister-in-law found a bakery over in Everett on Broadway, relatively new, that made a version of the king cake. So we had our family in and had a Mardi Gras celebration last Saturday night. It was a fun night.
Well, I got 10 happy bucks. I got them from my doggies. 2.5 per dog. So that makes, I believe, 2.5 times 4 makes 10. So this doggy right here is Murphy. And Murphy says, if we ever get to travel somewhere again, that anybody that wants a temporary part-time job as a dog sitter is welcome to come on down.
Is that Murphy's Law?
That's Murphy's Law, that's right.
I've got 5 happy bucks. I've got 5 happy bucks for my son, Eric, who's doing his internship on a tugboat that pushes barges around in Alaska. And he's in Anchorage right now, shoveling snow off the barge every day and doing a lot of other work on barge. And the barges tow or carry petroleum back and forth. Sometimes they go between San Francisco and Anchorage, and sometimes between Seattle and Anchorage, or Portland and Anchorage, all of those. And he's working for a company called Centerline Tugs. And he's really enjoying it. And that's going to be what he wants to do as he gets his able-bodied seaman ticket and starts working his way up. So, and then also I want to give 5 happy dollars because it's just gratifying to hear that Eve got a more rigorous education from WSU than she did from Columbia so that she could do brain surgery.
I'll let her know that. We'll probably agree.
I've got a few happy dollars. It was a great evening at Rest of Cork and supporting SIPs for Shorewood, so we had a lot of fun there, those of us that joined us. And then I've been remiss for the last few weeks in recognizing the winner of our photo contest. The correct location of that previous photo was at the north end of 7th Street Northeast off of 118th, which is from the intersection of East Lakeshore Drive and Purple Pennant Road. And Kyle Strand, you are the one that figured out where that photo was taken from. So you'll be getting a gift card in the mail here shortly for an opportunity to stop at a local coffee place. So thank you for participating in that. And we have a new photo up now. So hopefully everybody's taking a look at that, and that'll change every couple weeks, and soon we'll have a winner.
All right. Cool.
Okay, Don, I think we're going to hand it over to you so that, and I've made you co-host, so that if you want to show the video, that'd be great. But introduce it to us for.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Well, I've been going back and forth with Tulalip tribes for actually a couple months, hoping to put together a program that was primarily about their history, but also about current affairs. And while they were kicking it back and forth, trying to find somebody that would do a presentation, I happened upon some really, really well-produced videos that they had done. And we ultimately decided that those videos would probably do a very good job at standing alone to kind of tell the story. So I'm going to just kind of cue these up. There's 3 of them. So I'll just go from one to the next, and they add up to about 17 minutes. So timing should work out pretty well. There'll be a little gap between each one if anybody wants to comment on it or anything. But they're beautiful videos. What can I say? So as you know, it's always a good idea to mute your microphone during these, just in case there's noise in the background, but feel free to make comments. comments as we go, or as the videos go. So we are going to go to for a second here.
While Don's queuing that up, I just want to put in a plug for the He-Bulb Cultural Center on the Tulalip Tribes. If you haven't been there and gone through that, that is a treat. I think it's really cool, especially the room that describes the indigenous schools early in the Tulalip Tribes history, which is really fascinating, and how that has evolved into Native American education on the tribe. It's pretty cool.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Welcome to the He-Bulb Cultural Center and Natural History Preserve. This map is of the Salish Sea and its surrounding lands. Our people have lived in this region on land and water for thousands of years, since time immemorial. We had a sophisticated trade system.
What happened?
Don, we've lost the sound.
Traveled far and wide.
In the morning, I accompanied Captain Vancouver with the launch for further examination of these straits. We stopped to dine at a deserted village on the White Bluff. This must, by the size, have formerly been the habitation of at least 400 people, but was now in perfect ruins and overrun with nettles and some bushes. Nothing but the frames were remaining.
I landed on the point near the ship, where I found a few families of Indians live, in very mean huts or sheds, formed by slender rafters and covered with mats.
The British Library in London holds the log of Lieutenant Peter Puget, but the 29th of May to the 14th of June 1792 is missing. It is believed the log of that week was used in a lawsuit against Captain Vancouver. This was due to the incident of Vancouver's escort ship, the HMS Chatham, getting stuck in the mud in Port Susan, and certain crew members being severely punished.
The signal was made for the Chatham to bring up. In a few minutes, she was discovered to be aground. They had run upwards of half a mile on this bank, in 2 fathoms of water, in consequence of the unpardonable negligence of the man at the lead, who'd announced false soundings and for which he was deservedly punished.
Discovery crew member Thomas Pitt, ordered flogged by Captain Vancouver on 3 separate occasions, took revenge by publicly caning Vancouver years later in a London street. Some of Vancouver's logs are held in the Maritime Museum in Victoria, British Columbia, and some in Australia. There are logs from Archibald Menzies and Thomas Manby, as well as others. All mention their visit to Tulalip Bay.
In the forenoon, we both weighed and then anchored near the eastern shore, abreast of a small bay formed between two steep sandy bluffs, into which we found some small streams of fresh water empty themselves, which was rather a scarce article hitherto in our explorings. We were joined by several canoes who accompanied us to near the entrance, gazing upon us with the utmost astonishment, by which we were pretty certain that we were the first vessels they ever saw traversing their winding channels.
On Monday the 4th, they were served as good a dinner as we were able to provide them, with double allowance of grog to drink to the King's health, it being the anniversary of His Majesty's birth, on which auspicious day I had long since designed to take formal possession of all the countries we had lately been employed in exploring, in the name of and for His Britannic Majesty.
Here is a compilation of the maps drawn by Vancouver's cartographers. They quite clearly show his anchorage at Tulalip Bay. This map is housed at the Library of Congress and can be accessed online. It is relatively accurate considering the tools of the day. At the UK National Archives, we saw other maps drawn in the 1840s by US cartographers. They show our people here and all over the region, although we are misnamed as Skatchit. Our traditional way of life began to change with each contact from the outside world. After explorers came settlers. As they moved into the area, we had less and less land from which to gather, and misunderstandings became common. It is said that Snoqualmie Chief Pat Canham paddled by canoe all the way to San Francisco to see for himself what was coming. What he saw made him realize making war with the newcomers was futile. Native leaders would have to sign a treaty to protect their people. Major change for our people occurred with the signing of the Point Elliott Treaty of 1855. We were strongly encouraged to stay on the reservation and farm the land, and discouraged to travel with the seasons to gather our food. But we kept our fishing ways and gathered where and when we could. Now Tulalip belongs to us, although we still belong to Tulalip, the Salish Sea, and surrounding lands. We are the Coast Salish people. We are Tulalip tribes. You can learn more at the Hebold Cultural Center and Natural History Preserve.
All right, so that's the end of the first video. That's it there. Any comments, anybody? All right.
The only comment I have is I flog my own children when they run aground in the back bay at Tulalip too. So just so you know that. But I do give them 3 measures of grog extra if they don't. So.
I have a comment too, which I think is very appropriate. Where that ship ran aground is right off of Iverson Beach on Camano Island. So I can relate to the sandbar up there. But I thought it was kind of funny that they had a bunch of guys with a rope, like they're going to pull that ship off the sand. It's like, good luck for that. Okay, here's the next one.
Welcome to the Hebold Cultural Center and Natural History Preserve. Let's take a look at this exhibit. It shows a typical Tulalip summer camp. Traditionally, during the summer months, our people would leave the permanent winter village to travel and gather food. We would fish for salmon and crab and dig clams when the tides were low. We would also gather berries, plants, and roots. Much of the seafood, plants, and berries could be dried or smoked to preserve it for the winter months. Here you can see some of the tools that were used: a net with an anchor, a crab pot float, and some baskets that were used for gathering and storing. Here is a club used for hunting and fishing. It could also be used as a weapon for defending ourselves. Right over here you can see some salmon being dried and smoked. We would follow the salmon runs, which were abundant, but we would only take what we needed. The summer houses were a square frame made out of wooden poles that were tied together with steedquad, which is our Lushootseed word for cedar twigs. we also used dried blades of cattail rushes. These are some photographs of summer houses taken by photographer Norman Edson, who even appeared in one of them. The roof and walls would be covered with tiered mats to shed the rain. The mats were made of cedar bark and cattail rushes and woven together with nettle string. Usually the mats extended down to the ground, but sometimes vertical boards were built up for the sides and mats were only used for the roof. The opening to the house would face the campfire and a large mat would cover the opening when it rained. As our ancestors traveled our traditional lands, they followed animals and fish while gathering roots, plants, and berries. They would carry all the parts for the temporary summer houses with them, including the poles and mats. This way they could quickly build a camp. Sometimes several families would occupy one large house, but mostly they built smaller houses like this one. This type of summer house was used by just one single family. We hope you'll visit the Hebo Cultural Center and Natural History Preserve soon, so you can see how this exhibit depicts our traditional way of life.
Last video. Here we go.
Tulalip is the name of a small sheltered bay at the edge of the Salish Sea. In our language, the word is Duflalop. It means far to the end, a reminder and a warning to canoes entering the bay to cut a wide path around the sandbar to avoid running aground. When European settlers first arrived, there was no Tulalip tribes, no Tulalip reservation. Instead, our ancestors were here, living the cultural lifeways of our people as far back as time immemorial.
Our tribe was a fishing tribe. That's how we derived the most of our income. And we put away fish for the winter. When I was 2 days old, I was in a basket on the beach because my parents were beach sailing. It was such a wonderful time because there was all of these different encampments and each family was on the beach. So we had a real sense of community. When one of the families were pulling in their beach seine nets, us as kids would go help them, help pull the fish out, help pull the crabs out. Well, I remember when I was really young when we were out there and my great aunt and uncle, Chuck and Rella Sheldon, were on the beach, and man, she would always have that fire burning, the pot ready to throw the crabs in, cooking up the flounders, and she was the one who cooked on the beach for us all the time, and we just loved it.
In 1855, leaders of local tribes, including the Snohomish, Skykomish, Snoqualmie, and others met with Governor Stevens of the recently formed Washington Territory. At the gathering in what is now Mukilteo, they signed the Point Elliott Treaty, an agreement between the federal government and the local tribes. In the treaty, the tribes ceded their ancestral lands and relocated their homes to the newly formed Tulalip Federal Reservation. In return, the tribes retained the right to hunt, fish, and gather in their usual and accustomed places. And in 1934, Congress enacted the Indian Reorganization Act, providing the basis for restructuring our tribal government. Members of the Snohomish, Snoqualmie, and Skykomish tribes at Tulalip voted to form a single governmental structure. The leaders agreed to adopt one name, now common among us, the name of our home, and so was formed the government known for the first time as the Tulalip Tribes. As Tulalip tribal members, we are the ancestors and successors in interest to the Snohomish, Snoqualmie, Skykomish, and other allied tribes and bands, signatory to the 1855 Treaty of Point Elliott.
And then our first economic development started with selling cigarettes in the old fisheries building down by the dam. And that's where we started. And then we brought in the bingo. And then we started gaming in our bingo parlor.
Using the revenue from our old gaming properties, the tribe began expanding our economic vision. In 2001, Quilceda Village was established. In 2003, the Tulalip Casino was built. And 5 years later, we added a 4-star hotel. Today, our efforts have created a thriving tribal economy that has contributed several thousand jobs to the North Sound economy.
Well, I'm very proud of where the Tulalip Tribes is today. Our economic development has exceeded beyond our wildest dreams. When my father was on the council, we only had 3 employees. Now we're about the 3rd largest employer in Snohomish County. It was thanks to the foundation that our beginning leaders put down, the integrity of the process. And they were brilliant. It has been the foundation of how we run, how we conduct our government.
We are one of 29 federally recognized tribes in the state of Washington. Our status as a sovereign government maintains our right to self-govern as a nation within a nation. The Tulalip Tribes is governed by a 7-member board of directors elected by tribal members.
Well, being a tribe is about being a community, about being a family. If you're in a political position, in the tribe you take care of numerous needs of your people. We don't just take care of governmental affairs, we take care of those educations, housing, health care. I mean, we try to take care of our elders in the best way possible, looking at what we could do to better their lives, our youth, and making sure that our cultural ways are continued on.
Today, the Tulalip Tribes has a population of nearly 5,000. Our economic development has helped to transform Tulalip and the region. As a tribe, we continue to work to improve our community, restore our environment, protect our culture, and provide for the education of our next generation. The teachings of our ancestors and our elders are the foundations of our values today. Together, we create a healthy and culturally vibrant community.
All right, that's it. I thought that was actually very surprisingly how well that was produced. And I learned a lot, so hopefully you all did too.
That was awesome. That was fantastic.
It's great. And if you guys want to go to the Hebold Cultural Center, that is really a fantastic place. And those figurines, those totems that are carved outside of that one hallway were done, and the ones that are done at the casino are done by my neighbor, James Madison, who's a world-renowned carver. He's really good. Good guy too.
Interesting enough, those are called story poles.
Story poles, right.
Story poles.
Okay, does anybody have any comments? We're a little bit, well, actually, we're right about on time. So thanks for doing that, Don. That was really educational and fantastic. And I hope everybody has a great weekend plowing into March, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Chief Dyer. He left.
Hi, sir.
Chief, did you get my email? You're muted, but I sent it to you several days ago. You did get it? No. Okay. Let's see.
Can you resend it?
Yes.
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay, I'll end the meeting.
Thanks.
Okay, Kyle. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Thanks, Don.